Hello and welcome back to my channel, where today we're going to be taking a look at my December spreads for 2023, which I can't believe we're already at the end of the year. That's just like so crazy to me. But I did pick a really fun theme for December, I think. This took me such a long time to make too. Like, I started this in like the last week of November, I think, because doing this page alone took a while, and then all the headers I did with the tiny plaid print, or buffalo plaid, that really kinda it made it take a lot longer. But then I took the craft paper and wrote down my headers on there, and I think it looks so pretty that way. So first we have here my Hello December, because I always put a new page kind of to signify the end of one month and starting another. It did bleed through a lot, but I just don't care. I think it looks really nice. So we have my Hello December here, my calendar that I always have, and then my ideas thing, which I did use last month. I did use it for once, because this was November, and I wrote down some stuff here, so that's cool. So hopefully I use it again this month, and we'll see what happens with that. The calendar, I don't usually make a super big one because I just write a couple things on it here and there. It's more for me to know what day is when, and then what week of the pregnancy I'm in, which today is 25 weeks. Woohoo! So then we flip over to my actions and goals spread, which going forward, I think I want to do, like, show my spreads blank, like, before I put anything in them, which the next one isn't blank, but in general, I think I want to keep them blank as I show them. And then at the end of the month, I can show, or the end of the 6 months or whatever, I can show what they look like filled in. So I have a space for monthly, weekly, and daily goals and actions and things that I want to be doing. So usually it'll look like, if I can find the page, it'll look like this. So I'll have all my monthly goals here, my weekly goals that I want to get done here, and then my daily goals here. And then I did change December for, I put a Christmas gifting page here, so I'll write whoever's name and what I want to get them for Christmas, or what I'm sending, or what's coming in, and stuff like that, just so I can keep track of all that, instead of a mood tracker, because I don't really need a mood tracker right now. That's not necessary for me. And then things are bleeding through a lot, but I think as I start writing on the pages, I don't think it'll matter that much. Flipping over to the next page, we have the usual self-care bingo I have every month. It's a 4x4 square, so 16 things. And I try to do most of, if not all of them, in the month. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. It just depends on how I'm doing that month, or how into self-care I'm able to get, how busy I am that month. And then below that I have a section for rewards for getting a bingo whichever direction. So that's really nice. I do love this one though, because when I'm feeling down or something, I'm like, oh, let me go make some art, or play a game, or bake a treat, or something like that. So I do love the self-care bingo. And the next big project I'm taking on, since I finished the hexagons for the granny hexagon blanket I'm making for whenever. So I finished that one, so now I'm going to make a granny square blanket, and these are the colors I picked out. They're not the same exact colors I have in the bedroom as I'm working on it, but these were the closest colors I could find. And then it does have a light purple border, so I'm gonna do a 10x10 square, and then that should be big enough. Honestly, it should be big enough, so we'll see. And then down here is going to be sewing it all together. And then I don't know what I want to do for that one yet, but I am going to end up sewing it together, and it'll be a Christmas gift, so I got to really work on that this month. I have almost a quarter of the granny squares done though, I think, so it shouldn't take me too long to finish it, but I did want to have that just in case, like, to keep track of my progress on it. And then on the next 2 sets of pages, we have my Project Red sections tracker, which usually looks like, I gotta find it, hold on. It usually looks like this. And I, you know, when I was using it last month for NaNoWriMo, I was seeing that there wasn't enough room for me to write the notes I wanted, so I was writing them in the daily logs here. I was writing all my notes for whatever section I was working on. So I thought, you know what, let's try only 2 columns, right? So I have 10 on each page, and there's 40 of them, so that should be plenty of room to finish this story, because this has taken me so long. But up here, I'm going to put the character's name and their color, and then I'll put my notes down here. I might still use the daily logs to put some information, but I think most of it will fit there now. And then if that doesn't end up being enough space, then I'll just do like 1 across each one. And then I'll just need more pages, but that's totally fine. And then moving to the next page, we have my word count tracker, which I changed it up. I don't really like the gray that's on it. I didn't make the lines as straight as I would have liked, but it is what it is. I wasn't just gonna like rip the page out, so, because I only have a limited amount of pages left in here. Like, I have a decent amount of pages, I would say, but I'm gonna need them to keep track of all my stuff in December. So, the word count tracker, I have the date and then the day of the week down this side. And then I have my goal of words that I want to write for that day, and then how many words I actually write. And then I'll probably somewhere keep a running total, or I'll put a little thing down here with boxes for how many 1,000 words I write that month. That might be a good idea to fill in this space down here. And then the last thing I have for December is definitely more for me. I have a yarn wish list because I've been looking at all the sales on Michaels and Joann's Fabric, and I really there's a lot of colors of yarn that I want, so I want to write them down so I remember the names and the brands of them. And maybe the price too, I'm not sure, but I just want to make a little list of all the little yarns I want to get. And then we just get right into the daily logs, which are going to look very similar to the ones I had in November, and in October over here. So, in October, I was working with trying to make logs that work for me, like daily logs, like writing out my notes and stuff, because before that I had like, you know, weekly spreads that look nice, but it felt like there wasn't enough space to write down all the things I needed to get done whenever I was using my spreads. Jeez. But so in October I did them like this, and I put, you know, one of the colors that I was using for the month on there. And I think it worked out pretty good. I liked it because I had exactly the amount of space I needed for whichever one. Like, this one didn't take up very much, but this one did. And, you know, stuff like that. So, in November, I did kind of the same thing, but I you know, made it bigger, and I put my notes for whatever section I was working on at the time in there. That one I worked on 3 different sections. Wow. Got a lot of notes done there. But then I had, you know, days like this where I would just have the header, the whatever I was working on, and then that was it. So I think in December I want to do the same thing, but I think the headers are bigger than it was before. I think that might be 3, not 2, but that's fine. So for each day, I'm going to put a header like this, and then I'll write down whatever I need to get done for the day. And it'll look a lot like November, but with having so many pages left in here, I think there'll be plenty of room for me to do it that way. And for me, I very much enjoy making the monthly spreads, like all of these ones, and decorating them. It's when we get into the daily and weekly spreads that I have trouble keeping up with decorating things all the time. So I think just being able to come into my journal, make this nice header, and then write whatever I'm doing, I think that's going to work really well for me. But that is all of the spreads I have for December. I will have a flip through of this journal in particular. I'll have a flip through of this at some point in the month or in January. Just so you guys can see what this looks like after the pen. And let me tell you, it got a little bit thick. It got a little bit thick because I used a lot of stationery paper there and then the craft paper here. So I'm excited to finish this journal this month and then share with you guys at the end of the month what I'm doing for next year, because it is going to be different than it was this year, because I don't have, Staples doesn't sell these journals anymore, so I won't have a spiral bound next year, but I am excited for what I have for ideas for next year, because I do have the journal. It's in the works. It's in the works. It kind of reminds me of an Archer and All notebook, but it didn't cost me $30. I actually bought it on sale at Joann's Fabric. So, definitely look out for that video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.